Jayson TV here, and I'm back with another video. Okay, so I'm a huge NBA fan, like most of you watching this, I assume. So I've pretty much been forced to sit through the 3-month drought that is infamously known as the NBA offseason. If you're a super fan like me, you know how dreadful the majority of it is. Yeah, the beginning of it is entertaining, watching big names switch teams, like LeBron going to LA, or Kyrie surprisingly getting dealt to the Celtics towards the end of last offseason. But after all the hoopla's over, it's pretty stale. So that leaves me with some time to do some thinking. A lot of thinking, actually. And while doing so, I thought about how it is very possible that the Boston Celtics will end the 2019 season as NBA champions. Yeah, I know they should clearly be the best team in the East and how they should have a clear path to the finals now that LeBron went west. But when you get to June, you still actually have to find a way to win, especially since whichever Western team comes out, like the Warriors or Rockets, most likely will still be seen as a better team. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Boston Celtics will be hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. Man, Danny Ainge is pretty good at drafting. Back in 2016, he took Jaylen Brown with the 3rd overall pick and then traded down with the Sixers last year to snag promising star Jayson Tatum, again at number 3. The young duo had a very successful season together in 2018. Tatum became a serious Rookie of the Year candidate as the season went on, and Brown took a huge leap in his game. Short-handed in the playoffs, without injured Kyrie and Hayward, the duo, alongside fellow youngin Terry Rozier, played like all-stars, averaging a combined 53 points as a trio. Their impressive play lasted all the way up until Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. This is much further than how far most people had them going. With the game being back and forth in the middle of the 4th quarter, Jayson Tatum led the Celtics on a mini 5-point run in less than a minute to relight the fire in the squad. He even got his own poster dunk on LeBron for his troubles. Their heroics ran dry with Bron taking over, but they did all of this without 2 of their star players. It's very important that you remember that. And also, it's not like Kyrie is considered old at 26 either. Okay, I know we've been grateful to have all-time great coaches like Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, but man, Brad Stevens is something rare. Like, this man might be an actual wizard or something. He found a way to turn a 5'9", undersized guard into an all-star and top 5 MVP candidate with Isaiah Thomas in 2017. He also been able to absorb the multiple blows from this past season, which includes a lot of injuries. Stevens is famous for his out-of-timeout plays, which usually results in buckets. But in addition, I personally think his best coaching job came towards the end of the season and the playoffs with the adjustments he made. With injuries, guys with smaller roles get a chance to be valuable. In comes Terry Rozier. He really started to make his presence known after Kyrie's knee injury. In the regular season, he averaged 11.3 points and a hair under 3 assists per game. In the playoffs, his numbers jumped up to 16.5 points and a tad under 6 assists. I know, those numbers aren't jaw-dropping, but in the playoffs, it felt that he kept coming up with big buckets and big moments and seemed to have firm control of the team. And I also know that player performance shouldn't be fully credited to a coach, but I feel that Brad Stevens had him in a good system that allowed him to really blossom in unexpected circumstances. There's a reason Brad Stevens was a finalist for Coach of the Year this year. We all know how absolutely devastating the Boston Celtics started their 2017 season last October in Cleveland. Gordon Hayward's ankle injury looked and sounded just as gruesome as Paul George's leg injury 4 years ago. Even though there were rumors towards the end of the season that Hayward could actually make some type of late season comeback during the playoffs, the Celtics didn't want to rush him back. They kept him away from the team's deep playoff run, thinking about their long-term future, which was definitely the smart choice. In Hayward's last full season healthy, he became an All-Star for the first time with Utah in 2017. He led the Jazz to their first 50-win season in 7 years and first playoff appearance since 2012. In the postseason versus the Clippers, he averaged 24 points on 44% shooting from the field. They outlasted the Clippers in 7, but ran into those mighty Warriors next and got swept. Obviously, he then went to the Celtics and looked pretty good in the preseason. But now the only thing that matters is how he's going to look in the aftermath of that devastating injury. Well, if he looks anywhere close to how he played his last season in Utah, then the Celtics just gained a whole lot simply from him being healthy. 3 All-Stars with him, Kyrie, and Al Horford, plus a bunch of young and fearless players, is definitely a promising formula. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Uncle Drew's coming back too? In my humble opinion, Kyrie's definitely one of the top 3 hardest players to guard in the league. You don't need me telling you how ridiculous Kyrie is with the ball in his hands. He's also a big-time performer. Just look at his play in the 2016 and 17 playoffs. In the 2016 finals against the 73-9 Warriors, the man played like the superstar he is. He averaged 27.1 points, dropping 41 in Game 5 on the brink of elimination at Oracle. And of course, he hit that iconic championship-winning shot over the unanimous MVP, Steph Curry. He was a major piece in completing the greatest comeback in NBA history. And to follow that monster performance up, in the next year's finals, he put up 38 and 40 in games 3 and 4 respectively. Kyrie Irving is made for big moments. His fearlessness fits perfectly in the Celtics' attitude, which is why he's the leader they turn to. As long as him and Hayward are clicking, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think this is one of the most important ingredients needed for any championship team. How do you respond to pressure when you're getting tested? How do you respond to being down in the game? How do you gain hope when hope looks far too distant? Well, last year's Celtics team showed their resilience multiple times with their notable comebacks during the season. They include coming back from 17 down versus the Warriors in November, 10 in the fourth quarter versus Dallas, a late rally versus the Pacers in December, down 26 against the Rockets in late December, nearly again versus the Warriors from down 10 in the fourth, a 6-point comeback in 19 seconds versus the Thunder in March, 22 against the Sixers in Game 2 of the playoffs, and against the Sixers again in Game 3 on the road from down 5 in overtime. I know the Game 3 against the Sixers doesn't sound all that impressive on paper, but you have to actually remember watching the game or watch the highlights to know exactly how good and important it was. But basically, what I'm trying to show you is that there's very little quit in the DNA of the Boston Celtics. I mean, let's not forget that they went on a 16-game winning streak towards the beginning of the season, which included some of these comebacks. I think a big part of their resilience has to do with one of the Celtics' most important players, Marcus Smart. That man is a straight-up pit bull. He is their Draymond Green, the emotional leader that sets the tone for the defense. He's not afraid to dive on the ground for a loose ball head first, risking his body. He's not afraid to get gritty and play nasty defense on top perimeter players. Smart is the heartbeat that pushes the team into motion. That's why Boston re-signed him this offseason, because they know exactly how much value he brings to the team. A player like him knows how to spark a very special flame in a team. So yeah, the team's never quit attitude is the number one reason why I believe that the Boston Celtics will be the 2019 NBA champions. Alright, real quick. So you heard my 5 reasons why they'll win, but you're probably wondering how they match up with the Warriors or Rockets. Well, if we take a quick look at both sets of games they played this past season, you can see that all 4 games ended with a tight final score, all less than 4 points. If we use that logic and take into account that Gordon Hayward missed the entire season, then maybe it shows that the Celtics are very capable of beating these teams 4 times. And if I'm wrong, then hey, it happens. but all I know for certain is that I cannot wait until the NBA is back. Well, that's all, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA content. Comment below your opinion on my 5 reasons. Do you agree with some of them or just one? Tell me why you might disagree with something I said. I'm never shy from an NBA conversation. Alright guys, catch you in my next video.